All right, I have 6:30. So this is the Public Safety Service Delivery Working Group, September 22nd, 2025. Let's call the meeting to order. And Mike, would you do the roll call, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Allen.
Here.
Counselor Allen.
Oh,
Okay. Here.
Commissioner Stephenson.
Here.
Commissioner Harrington.
Here.
Commissioner Rizzo is not here. Mayor Ripa.
Here.
Counselor One.
Present.
And Counselor Allen.
Here. She's firstborn, she's used to answering for me.
Do we have any public comment? You can come on up and. If you can state your name.
My name is Ryan Dorn. I work for Gresham Fire Department.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Public Safety Committee members, and the Troutdale community. My name is Ryan Dorn. I'm Vice President of Local 1062, representing 126 Gresham professional firefighters and fire investigators. We are here tonight to voice strong opposition to Clackamas Fire District 1's proposal to provide fire and emergency services to Fairview, Wood Village, and Troutdale. We are your local firefighters, and we are proud to serve your communities every day. We share similar interest for what East County Fire Service should represent. For over 20 years, your local firefighters have fought to restore Multnomah County Fire District 10. We want sustainability, and we will continue to fight for it. Less than 2 weeks ago, our Fire Chief, Derek Menard, received confirmation that Multnomah County Fire District 10 can, in fact, be restored to a fully functioning fire district, and that District 10's PERS liability is no longer a threat. This confirmation solidifies that the pathway to secure stable funding for East County Fire Service is through Multnomah County Fire District 10 and not Clackamas Fire District 1. Clackamas Fire District 1 will not improve your response times. They will not save you money, and they will not give you a seat at the table. Clackamas Fire District 1's proposal is taking advantage of you and taking advantage of your citizens' hard-earned tax dollars to help manage an unsustainable budget. I pay taxes in Clackamas County. I spoke at their fire district board meeting. The voters of Clackamas approved an operating levy this past fall, and the Clackamas professional firefighters, Local 1159, are now being threatened with reduced staffing levels, modified responses, and were recently forced into contract arbitration. Fire Chief Nick Brown is recklessly ignoring national safety standards that impact staffing levels and community safety. He will do the same here. We recognize the city leaders of Gresham are not innocent. We must come together as 4 cities, including Multnomah County Fire District 10, with your firefighters to collaborate a solution for sustainable fire service. We urge you tonight to join the cities of Wood Village and Gresham by extending our contracted fire service, which will allow much needed time to ensure a successful fire district campaign is achieved. We, Local 1062, are not going away. We are here to hold the line, to protect our station, our jobs, and most importantly, your lives, your homes, and this community. We have served you with pride and professionalism for decades, and we will not stand silent while political games jeopardize not only your citizens' safety, but your safety as well. We understand the path to a fire district will not be easy. Stand with your Gresham professional firefighters, and we will stand with you. We are here to stay, and we will continue to fight for the safety, sustainability, and well-being of this community. We urge you, Mr. Mayor, committee members, and the Troutdale community to look past the false promises and recognize the true value of the service we provide. Thank you.
Anybody else have a comment?
I can speak.
Hi there. For the record, I'm Kevin Larson, President of Local 1062. Like Ryan, I also serve over 120 members that serve these local communities of Gresham, Wood Village, Fairview, and Troutdale. I know there was a lot of conversation last week about waiting for the August 26th meeting with Gresham, what they were choosing as a pathway. And I'm happy to say through lots of conversation, lots of education, lots of influence, and lots of advocacy, I would say, for public safety, we were able to come to a united message from the Gresham City Council to look into a four-city with District 10 contract, District 4 service. I think this is a long time coming, and like Ryan said, we've been advocating this for decades. With last time we tried this was in 2004, and obviously this is going to take all of us to do this again to try and make it actually pass this time. Your firefighters are here. Your firefighters are obviously dedicated to this message. Your firefighters are here to help and be an advocate for public safety and for long-term sustainable funding. Just recently in the last city council meeting in Gresham, where they talked about a committee, a four-city committee, which would include the mayors and a council member of each city to be sitting on that board. And I believe that's a great way to start. They're also going to include an IFF member and the fire chief for that, and District 10. So I think we've moved the needle a lot further from where we were 6 months ago, thank God. And I hope that Troutdale sees the amount of work and effort and the strength we are all united to talk about fire service in East County. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Is there anybody online for the public comment? All right, we'll close public comment and go into consent agenda number 3. Was there any corrections to the May 12th, 2025 regular meeting? Hope everybody had a chance to read the minutes. The minutes July 7th, 2025 regular meeting and the August 2025 regular meeting.
A minor one for August 7th, or July 7th. I think batted.
So I believe, Mike, it was Tanny Stephenson that called the meeting to order because I was online at the time.
Yeah.
Well, with that correction, I'll move adoption of the consent agenda.
Any second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Right, number 4, review of Gresham Council's work session on September 16th. I believe that's Mike.
Yes. So the Gresham work session essentially discussed what the city managers met and discussed about the possibilities of forming a 4-city district and what that might look like. City managers and Ray, our outgoing city manager, all got together and discussed a unified vision on how we could move this forward. At the possibility of forming just all 4 of us going into District 10, or modification of that. Maybe it's a conglomeration of a new district that we look at, or potentially joining District 1. We're looking at all different options. So the idea is to form a task force. The task force would be comprised, as what Kevin was talking about, the mayors from all 4 cities, selected counselor from all 4 cities, city managers from all 4 cities, and then the fire chief, union rep, and then the District 10 rep and the District 10 rep. So with that task force, they'd be meeting monthly. In the interim, we're talking about doing extended IGAs for the 4 cities, or between the 4 cities, to extend services while we work through the process that's described in the task force. So the idea is that there's a lot of logistics and a lot of education, public education that needs to happen in order to build the consensus that we need from the public in order to make it pass. Some of the initial numbers that we got from Praxis, there's a lot of unknowns, but our numbers were hovering around 38 to 40, which aren't really that great. There was still a 40% of undecided. So in that situation, when you have 40 and 40 and a 20 already going in different directions, it's a lot of uncertainty if you put something out to the ballot, especially when we're talking about forming a 4 citywide district that's going to affect everybody in our area. So what Gresham was able to do is present this to their city council along with the Cable Houston report, which showed the economic viability of their current situation, basically running out of steam here in the next couple of years. So they're in the same boat we are, which is essentially it's a downward spiral out of our general fund. And so unless we can get it out of our general fund, we're going to be reducing our ending fund balance by at least $1.5 million every year. And it's an unsustainable model. And so what we're all looking at is how we can get to a sustainable model, which is to go with the fire district model. And so that's what you see in the Gresham report here. And this is their proposal, is to look into those 3 options. Do we form our own district? Do we join District 10? Or do we join some other district that's out there? We all recognize that the current model is unsustainable for the foreseeable future. This is some of what's happening here, and the idea is to form a task force to review those and evaluate what our options are and hopefully select the best possible option for not only us, but our firefighters and our residents.
When is this task force going to start meeting?
So the idea is mid to late October is when they hope to have it formed and set and start meeting. So my guess is probably, based on the fact that it's already late September, I guess probably last week in October, because I think they have an October 7th work session over in Gresham. So it would probably take at least a week or 2 to then try to get everybody's schedule coordinated for a meeting.
Well, I guess I'm just, first of all, it sounds like a good plan. No question. Sounds like a good plan. It's just, who's gonna set it up? What, I mean, is there some place? I just wondered about any details. It sounds like Gresham's in favor. I assume Troutdale will be considering it probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Eric Schmidt, the city manager over there at Gresham, is the one that's been orchestrating and organizing this going forward. So I imagine that most of the logistics are going to be handled on that end, and then we bring our participation to that task force, as well as the reports that we have from Triton and others, and also knowing what our budget numbers are and what our feasibility are. I think the key to this being a success is being able to strike a deal on the IGAs for extended services that don't essentially bankrupt us in the interim.
I agree. Good. Are we taking it up at council tomorrow? I mean, there's going to be a report of what we're talking about, but
I was just going
I think we should.
I was just going to talk about it under my staff presentation to the council on, and then if you guys want to select a course forward or present some sort of authorization to allow us to move forward into the task force or to go execute an extended IGA. We're expecting that Gresham will present IGA drafts in mid-October.
Okay. And to the extent that this group was to make a recommendation, I would favor advising the city council to move forward with this as outlined by Mike. Sounds like we gotta get going. Running out of time. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Well,
It seems like I think we only have till June to strike a deal, so I think we need to get something, an IGA on the books before the new year, right?
well, before the end of December, really, we need to, I mean, currently, under the current IGA with Gresham and the fire services contract we have with Gresham, we're supposed to let Gresham know by the end of this year. So,
So if we get this IGA in place,
yes.
extends current services, then
The IGA is gonna be essential to us being able to continue the discussion, work out the four-city District 10 deal, or district, I think that's essential, but anyway, I favor Troutdale joining in the effort. That's been outlined.
Yeah, is it something that, does council have to approve or make a motion to allow us to do this? And if that's the case, then we should do it tomorrow. I agree.
Well, we can advise staff to move forward with it, and that's probably good enough. I mean, eventually there'll be an IGA to vote on, but advising staff that the council is in favor of going forward, that gives staff direction. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
Wouldn't we want the city council to vote on the representation?
Yes, the mayor and one, pardon?
I would do it tomorrow.
Oh.
For me, is that on the agenda?
yeah, the council would need to select a council representative to sit on.
And I think we should do it tomorrow.
I think so.
Are you voluntary?
Only if they meet at 4 o'clock.
Okay. We can decide that tomorrow, but think about it.
Any other comments? Rich?
So naturally, I do wish there was some kind of citizen involvement of some kind, but I realize the need for speed. But at least consider that and discuss it.
Citizen.
Yeah, what were you thinking of?
Like you want a non-council member also?
Yeah, non-council member, one person each city, something. But
I guess I might only, not that I am opposed to that, I worried that would could potentially bog it down more than with the, they're there, everybody's gonna have their own.
yeah, I do realize that, and I weigh it right. The benefits of, and can you get the four cities to agree and get somebody chosen by the end of October, not delay. How are the other cities' meetings looking like? Do they have citizen involvement now?
Into the fire district situations.
Yeah.
I'm not up to speed on what's happening in the surrounding communities yet. That might be a question for Mr. Young. He might know.
My idea would be that whoever's on that committee would again bring it back to this committee to then discuss, and that person and mayor would take that representation to those meetings.
I would say that, well, I'm all for citizen involvement. I consider this rather a different decision. The council is tasked with the provision of fire services for the citizens. Citizen involvement about who we contract with is important, but there isn't time now. Rich, I'm sorry, I just don't think there's time to have a vast amount of citizen involvement. These are all public meetings. Citizens can come forward and say, I prefer this or that. and we always listen, but we have to provide fire service for the city, for this, you know, for the citizens.
I
And
do have my concerns that I share your concerns, right? But I'm also thinking this is going to be a heavy lift to get over the goal line when it comes time to engaging the public. And, you know, what's that going to look like? Are we going to have enough horsepower to do it?
you're quite right. It will be a heavy lift. I agree.
The Praxis numbers in Troutdale were the lowest of the three cities, us, Fairview, and Wood Village. Wood Village and Fairview were actually higher approval ratings than what we had in Troutdale, just so you judge those sort of things. So, Jen, do you have
I
any?
will only add that this task force is already very large, and to add more people would just make it more unwieldy. And as the mayor was referencing, this task force is to figure out the direction that the four cities want to go. Once that decision is made and it's reported back to this group and then it'll be reported back to council, that's when that citizen involvement needs to start, because this task force is supposed to create what's the roadmap to getting to a fire district. And once that's determined, then we can bring in, you know, citizen groups, because critically, as you, those of you, I'm trying to think who was around here, you know, in 2006, 7, when we were doing the police building, is if it's something's going to pass, it's going to take a lot of citizen involvement and committee, and Praxis will explain. They can help up to the point when a ballot measure is filed. Then after that, you have to have, you know, political action committees. They're going to do it. And that's where you're going to let
It
the
was a
citizens
lot of
involved.
doors and
Right.
conversations.
And what we've talked about before is that once you get the task force, everybody, all four cities now have agreed which direction we're going to go. That's when you start the community meetings in the neighborhoods, at the schools, and you start inviting the people in to talk about why and what's coming. So yeah, the citizen involvement will be great, but it's probably the next step after this one. It's probably the best way to go, because I think we already talked about there could be 20 people in this group already with everybody. So.
One thing I can say is that it'll look a heck of a lot better to the public in general if we're all together. Like us, Gresham, Fairview, and Wood Village, and our firefighter brothers over here. So I think if we're able to bring, and sisters, sorry, if we're able to bring it all together, then I think that's going to be a better house.
No, I think it's probably a good path forward. I'll just say, from being someone that did go door to door for the police building, and I know that was a long time ago, I think this is gonna be a heavy lift. Because the amount of tax money that's gonna be going to the city for services, and I include the fire district in that, it's going to raise it 101% from what it is today. And, you know, I think I understand things cost more and we have to pay more. But I think that's gonna take a lot of work to convince people that they're gonna have to basically pay 101% more, and that's not gonna cover capital costs going forward. Those are gonna have to be bonded. So that's gonna be tough. And so, I mean, for people here, it's gonna be a 21.5% increase in their tax bill. Might not sound like a lot, but when you hear people aren't doing very well, that could be a big number. And I know for some people, it's some, like, I'll just pick on one, Amazon, their taxes are gonna go up $559,000 per year. And they can probably afford it. I don't know, but that's probably our biggest customer. And I'm just saying, what do people think about this? I don't know. And so, I mean, I think there's a lot of work that's gonna have to be done to get this over the finish line, for sure.
Door knocking, for sure. I think we need to be really transparent and real with our citizens that it's gonna cost, no matter what we do, it's gonna cost more. It just plainly is. I think doing the four cities is the best answer if we can do that. I just think being together and having the same firefighters that people know, and I think it's important, and time is important of giving services. We have to do something, and it's gonna cost no matter what.
It wasn't, I believe that the District 10 rate was at, and I'm getting some numbers here, but it was like 285 per thousand, right? And then the District 1 rate was like 292 per thousand, so
Correct.
either way, you're looking at, $100 at the end of the year, maybe between the two, maybe less, probably more like.
Well, between 285 and 292, but then the 373 is,
What's the three, that's what our current tax rate is?
that's what the Gresham rate will be, is 373.
Oh, but we wouldn't be paying the Gresham rate, correct, if we were under a tax, if we were
If
under?
we're in a fire district.
Yes.
So I think that IGA is key to helping us, all cities move forward, take the time to do it correctly. Put the time and effort into education, take our time in making sure we have a good plan of how to present that. So if we can do that IGA, which will be key in the committee, getting something that's reasonable for the three cities and Gresham to move this forward, because not everybody's gonna pass the first time. I think we can all agree on that. Like, it's just not one of those things that's gonna happen. But if we can support each city who didn't pass by continuing to help them with their service until they can get there, being on the same team, all of us together doing the same message, that's.
Yeah, you definitely need unity amongst the cities and the firefighters.
And I think that we use every medium that we can to reach the citizens. So, the Outlook and Facebook and newspaper and the Champion, everything and input. And not just rely on those things, but also rely on flyers. Going out. I see a lot of work, but I see that people are going out saying, hey, we're having this meeting, here's a flyer. We're gonna really have to do a lot of ground.
And I think one of the keys to going to the district is multiple, there are multiple keys, but you go to the district model, you have the ability then to invest in the capital improvements of a new fire station on the north side over here. You also have the ability to invest in a new fire station on the south side. So when you look at the heat maps, you're filling those two gaps. You also we would have the ability to free up general funds that we could potentially throw into a potential police force of our own. Maybe we take that police force and team up with the Tri-Cities of Wood Village and Fairview later, but it does provide some options for us, and it does open up some additional revenue that's currently being consumed with our current contract. So it gets that out of our general fund, and it would free those funds that we can then reallocate to other purposes that are dire need.
It'll be important to show people what that looks like, because just to say we've freed up funds, I think people are gonna be like, well, now you just have willy-nilly throwing money in, which is not the case, as we know. But it has to be part of the education to be clearly identify that. And I just wanna say, I think this is I feel like this is what we've been working towards, is to get this committee, to get Gresham on board. Regardless, I know of how long it's taken them to get to this point. I'm really encouraged by this. I think that when we working together is by far the best option of us all. So I just want to say thank you to Gresham for finally coming around. And again, I am going to be the captain positive of this team. This is a great move forward. I have good feelings about this, of where we can go to get us, so now we can take that next step of, okay, we're gonna get this on whichever ballot we're gonna get it on, and hit the ground running with education of why this is what's best for the whole.
Any other comments?
I was wondering, when it does go to vote, has there been a study on if we do it a standalone vote for Troutdale, or if we do it all together, that each city has it on at the same time and we're all together? But if one city votes it down, then it's no good for the other three cities, is my understanding. So we have to decide if we do a standalone vote on the ballot, or I think it would pass better if we did it all together. But there's that thing about if one doesn't pass it. Isn't that?
I believe each city would have to pass it. Everybody could go together, but each municipality would have to pass the bond.
Yeah, there's like 9 votes. Each city has to vote to join Fire District 10 separately, and Fire District 10 has to vote to let the other cities come in. It's really weird how it works, not that they would probably object at all, but that's one of the reasons this whole task force is going on, so we all get on the same page and we're all marching in lockstep so that we do as a unit, because you're right, it's really important that all 4 cities and Fire District 10 are speaking one voice, because it's really important that they all march in step, because the marketing is the same, the information is the same, the crowd here will support it the same for all different places. It won't have to go to different dates to do it. So yeah, that is definitely going to be the plan that's going to make the best chances everybody's together.
Do we have any First Fridays left? We're all done, right? So that would be another outreach, and they don't start until the spring.
The only 2 events that I think we have left are the dog park Halloween or whatever it is, and then the
The winter thing.
Windy Wonderland, right?
Because, those might be some good places to at least join in and start getting the word out, right?
Yeah, and we did execute the contract with Praxis to start hopefully building up some of that educational campaign stuff on hopefully that we're going at this together. So hopefully we can coordinate our messaging with them and the 4 cities and the fire district and start getting the word out in a positive light. And it's going to take time to pull it all together and hopefully sway the public, because there's a lot of undecided votes out there right now.
I have a lot of faith in the people involved, and so I feel good about this.
So then, of course, the number 5 is the review of fire service district status and praxis.
I think what we've
I
done,
think we kind of did
yeah,
as we went along
pretty
here.
much covered that, right? Yeah, so I just executed the agreement with Praxis to start sort of the public education campaign. I kind of just segued right into that, didn't I? That's what I get for not looking at the agenda, but we did start it. So it's a 1-year contract, gets us through. The idea was to push us through the next election in May or to November. This process with the task force and everything else, this is going to take a couple more years. So hopefully we can still work with Praxis within the confines of that agreement. Other groups as well are using Praxis. I think Wood Village and Fairview are also using Praxis on this as well. So hopefully we can get that campaign going. We get this task force started. We can really start diving into what's going to be the best solution for all 4 cities. That's our hope, and that's why what's being presented tonight was essentially the presentation that Gresham presented to their council for their work session last week.
So if I hear correctly, our goal would not be to get this on the next November, but maybe like 2 years from now.
Yeah, so, based on Gresham's window, they're saying the 2028 window. When we spoke with Fairview, we were kind of hoping maybe we can get it on the 2027 window because we have to be cognizant of what else is on the ballot measure. So if Metro's proposing a big bond, or other cities are proposing other bonds or taxes or things of that nature, we kind of want this to stand on its own merit almost, without those outside influences. So part of this task force will be kind of determining when to take it forward to the voters, but I think the best solution is to find a unified approach and present it as such. Whether that's 2027 or 2028, the problem is what it's doing to our bottom line.
I'm gonna be slightly naive here and just ask a question. Does it cost a lot of money to get something onto the ballot? And if it doesn't, we do education, does it hurt us to like just keep putting it on the ballot until it passes?
It doesn't necessarily cost a lot of money to put it on the ballot, but I think we have to pay for the general circulation. So you figure mailing and things of that nature for a city the size of Troutdale, I'm gonna just off of a whim here, but probably, you know, $10,000 to $20,000 probably for circulation, printing and everything else, I would imagine, maybe more. And then if you add other cities like Gresham, Fairview, whatever else in the area, then maybe it adds more. That's been my experience on a special election. But the problem is that if you put something out like that and people vote it down, well, now they have that in their mind. Oh, we said no already. And so you kind of want to build them up to a yes before they're set on a no. I think that's kind of the strategy behind it.
Again, yes, for Kevin Larson for the record. Just on that point, I thought we have a little expertise on that. For our district that we went in 2004, we spent over $70,000 as far as our own personal PAC fund to go out to the community. So I think it would, going along with the city manager saying that we all do this unity, because we are saving up, we've been saving up our PAC money. We're going to bring in PAC money from the IFF. We're going to bring in PAC money from the state of Oregon, as far as Oregon State Firefighter Council. So we are going to have, there's going to be money there, but if we just keep on going around and around over and over again, that would be very difficult to maintain that sort of budget. So again, that was $70,000 in 2004 numbers. So I'm guessing it's going to be well over $100K to make this a real strike at it. And what we saw in just the levies with the city of Gresham is make sure that we don't have opposition, because that really hurts you. And getting out with the business owners, that was very smart about the Amazon. So it's definitely getting aligned with all the stakeholders in the communities is huge to get this moving forward. And that's why the first one failed in Gresham, and then we were able to create a more unified body to go for the second levy. So, and then also, again, we already put a whole bunch of money in the first levy, but then we had to put more money in the second levy. So it does consume a lot of money to get something passed and just to get the information out there. So we are willing to do that, but just realize that just going out over and over again, it starts dwindling that money quickly.
So, and Kevin, since you're here, can you answer the question, like, if we're able to get into a fire district, does the levy go away?
So that would be something for the City Council of Gresham to come up with, but I would say that's they've already talked about that. Like that for Gresham, that's a sell that why you should vote yes on the district is we'll remove the levy, we'll remove the PFP fee, maybe reduce some of the, there were 361 per thousand, maybe drop that initially, just to try to reduce that overall tax burden to the community member right from the get-go, and then hopefully that tries to sell why you need to invest and the cities are doing as much as they can to reduce that tax burden.
Yeah, I didn't think about the campaigning side of it, but yeah, think about all the public outreach and campaigning and everything else that goes behind this. It's definitely going to increase those costs.
It's very expensive, very expensive.
As we go forward, like he was talking about, we won't be able to use city funds for flyers and things of that nature. It's going to have to be done with a PAC. Also, too, as you guys know, none of you guys will be able to advocate pro or against it at all.
I think we can as private citizens, we just can't officially as members of the council.
That's a
a fine line, but
I was gonna say, it's not a fine line.
it's all right. We're gonna be voting publicly on it, so some of us will definitely be advocating for it. But it's true. Praxis, I'm sorry, Tanny, were you done?
No, go ahead.
Praxis is, their job, you mentioned, is that they assess public opinion. They're not there to advocate in one way or another. They're there to assess the likelihood of, right? I mean,
That's my understanding, but I think we're trying to work with them to actually come up with some campaigning strategies and things that will move the needle in our favor. So,
But I think, Tanny, at least my understanding is the city can't, on a vote like this that affects our budget and so on, the city can't advocate. We can say our budget will be not unbalanced now. You know, we won't, if this passes, it'll be good. But I don't know, that there's limits to what the city, as Tanny said, the city can't print flyers. We could put something in the chamber, we can put information about the ballot measure, but we can't say, oh, yes.
yeah, I think we can put out information and promote it up until the point that it's put on to a ballot. And at that point in time, we are then restricted by campaign laws where we can't do that. But yeah, I don't think we can take taxpayer funds and put it into a campaign purpose.
I just wanted to point out that, for memory's sake, that we did refer to studies in the past about whether or not it's better to go presidential year or non-presidential year. In a presidential year, there was something to, you get drowned out, and if you don't have enough issues on the ballot, then you have total lack of interest to even vote. So, how you time that year, you should refer to some of those studies and then target it.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing Praxis could help us with.
Yes. Did you say that Praxis did some pre-polling? And I got a little bit of that, but could you tell us in more detail, or is there a document that has that?
There's a document. I have a meeting with Praxis tomorrow, and I can share that with this group. For us, for Troutdale, yeah, I'm recalling the numbers, but it was like, ours was like 38% like approval, and then there was about 30% non-approval, and it was like 20 to 30% non-approval, and then like this larger 30 to 40% undecided. Whereas I think Wood Village and Fairview were slightly higher, like 50, 24, you know, and then like Fairview might have been the highest, but nowhere near where we were all like 30s and 40s. And it's not where you want to be as you go into, you prefer to see that more at like 70 or 80% approval rating before you go to the ballot.
And did they go any deeper and ask the why question for the undecided and the no's?
They did ask some questions about, will this move the needle if it increases response time? And that was a big boon for a lot of folks. Would you be in favor of this if it meant you could bring your police back? You get a little bump there. So they asked a number of these questions in their report, and the results are there. And I'll try to make sure that you all have those before I mess up the numbers so bad that it's really bad. So, because I've only been through it once, and so if I'd been through it more, I could give you more refined numbers. But it's been like 2-3 weeks already. So.
Great, thank you.
So budget-wise, we'd be looking to extend our contract to about 5 years, 3 years.
I would think 3 years. They're saying 2 to 5 years, I think, on their presentation. but I think the target would be 2 to 3 years, I think is our target. Mostly because I don't think it's sustainable for some of the other communities beyond that. Including us.
So then we would just have a contract with Gresham or.
We would keep contracting with Gresham as we do now. Gresham provides our fire service.
Anything else? Okay, so now it's set the next meeting.
So I think we're looking at October, was it like 28th or something?
Can I just ask a question? We've been talking a lot about fire, and at some point, we're gonna have to circle back to police.
Yes.
And what, I know that's probably, like, it's something that we had planned on doing anyways. When a good time to circle back to that is, you know, this part is kind of shape, but I don't know what it would take to do, you know, to do that and do it correctly.
There's a couple ways that we can go down this pathway. I think right now, we're waiting on a few things, general fundish to come through, their tax liabilities to kind of drop off, free up some, I say that a lot, free up some funds, but it's not really freeing up some funds, it's generating more revenue. So I think with our enterprise zone, we have the battery group that's out there that should be coming off the enterprise roll here shortly. That should generate some additional revenue for us, but not enough to start a full-blown police force. So then if we're thinking about how we want to do this, do you want to do it all at once or do you want to do it incrementally? Right now, we've signed a 3-year agreement with Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. So we have an agreement there for 3 years in which we have one of the officers is kind of our dedicated to Troutdale. And we're working on weekly meetings and monthly updates from the Sheriff's Office for those services. And in the interim, we can figure out how we want to pursue our police force. So if we were talking about it, one of the first things that I think that we need to do is bring on a chief of police at some point in time between now and the time that expires, and then start building the force if we're serious about it. I think one of the key elements to that is getting this fire district going at the same time. So if we're able to get the fire district going, if the battery complex comes online and we're able to get those revenues, we have union negotiations coming up in 2027. So I think that'll start at the end of 2026. So what's that gonna mean for us right now? Fire district, I mentioned the number before, but about $1.5 million is being taken out of our bottom line every year because of the increased cost for fire and police services. So until we can wrap our heads around that 1.5 million out of the general fund every year, we're gonna be in this kind of downward spiral, and we'll see our beginning fund balance continue to be reduced every year until we can get that. So we're in a struggle, bit of a struggle, waiting for.
But we can at least have a plan in place of what direction we want to take and how we want to accomplish that. It's just, it sounds like it's, and we would be able to like start doing that.
Yeah.
Sort of hinges on this fire district situation. I just want to make sure that it's still on our, like, in our bucket, to like at least deal with.
I don't know that you can totally hold the police discussion back, wait for the fire district to pass. That's gonna put you really too far down the road.
Yeah.
And then if you're committed to doing a police force and the fire district doesn't pass, you abort that plan at that point. I don't think that's a good idea. So I think you're gonna have to pursue them kind of separately, really.
We need to have a plan in place. That's like,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, 100%. That's why I just want to make sure we keep it. I feel like it's gonna sneak up on us and I don't want it to.
Yeah, I think you could still free up the revenue that you're putting into the sheriff's department to partially fund it. But it would really be a boon if we're able to get the district as well. 'Cause then you could fully fund it.
Oh, absolutely, that's like best case scenario.
Yes, best case scenario right there.
That would be great, but I just worry that we don't, and so what are we gonna do after that 3-year contract? We're gonna have to have something in place.
Yeah.
Even if it's half a police force or, you know, whatever it's gonna be better than having nothing. So,
Right, like a modified agreement with Multnomah County, maybe like a mutual aid agreement, and
Yeah.
then we can start moving that
Yeah.
needle.
If we started today, it would probably take us 2 years.
Yeah.
So then maybe,
That's what I'm hearing.
my concern is that I feel like we need to like think about getting it going somehow and looking at like budget and, I mean, having people, you know, the council and everybody looking at that budget and seeing how we can do that, because I think they're two different entities where even though they're together, we really need to, you know, like if the fire thing doesn't pass the first time, we still need our police. And, you know, in my book, I'd be looking for a chief now, you know, and spend the next 6 months or whatever, I don't know what that world looks like, but looking for a good chief and then getting it on board. And because I'm just worried that it's gonna blink of an eye and it's gonna be here and we're gonna be scrambling, and I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, I think sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think budget starts in January, February prep, right? So I think that's when we broach it and bring it in and try to wrap it into the budget for adoption in June or April, yeah, and starting July 1. And we put out the announcement, figure a 4 or 5 month recruitment period. So you're gonna need half that FTE essentially, a month or so to start.
But something we may want to do in the interim is take a look at the Jensen report again and pull in a few people, you know, to look at it with us and tell us what their opinion is of that, where we're short, where we're long. And that would help guide us for the budget piece at least.
I was just gonna say, during my service years, we always had, if this happens, we had plans, we had a lot of plans. Most of them never actually happened. This would be different. But when the time came, when estimate hits the fan, you don't have time to plan then. It's too late, right? So we would plan contingencies. This is what we're gonna do if this happens. This is what we're gonna do if that happens. Run through those scenarios and know exactly what we're going to do. And then we can make execution very fast.
Sounds good. All right, so next meeting, I show that the October 20th, if I'm correct?
That's my understanding, 20th or the 27th. I think this one landed on the last.
This
Is it
one,
the third Monday of every month, right? Or fourth month?
4th. That would be,
That would be the 27th if it's the 4th, okay. 20th would be the 3rd.
either one? You guys have a,
Well, let's do the 20th, just because there's a lot going on. Gresham, there's this task force being formed, and I think it's sooner, rather than later, so the 20th.
I'll be traveling, but I should be able to call in. We'll see.
well, if there's nothing else,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor?
You were just jumping ahead, it was good.
Aye. Are you gonna call the rest?
Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any nays? All right, we are adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.